Yo!
No,
Hi.
Yo, the Catacombs crew is here. How are you guys?
all good. How are
Good. How are
you?
you?
Really good. Thank you. Oh man, this is crazy.
What's up? Thanks. Just first off, thanks for asking for the interview. Really love your stuff, so this is really cool.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Dude, this is crazy because to like start with the first question. You guys always get mentioned like every single time I'm like speaking with like an underground rapper or whatever. They're like catacombs, 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 catacombs. Why do you guys think you guys have resonated so much with that like community?
Like, there's two ways to approach this. Either I like be humble about it, or like you can brag about it. I guess I don't know. And, like I don't know, greatest to ever do it. That might be
Yeah.
the conversation, or you could just say that like maybe it's the approach, the longevity, the consistency, that sort of thing. But I don't know. It's Catacombs was definitely the first show of its kind in Ireland, really at all. So like, um, definitely a lot of really a lot of the biggest guys in the scene have gotten their start from Catacombs. Like,
Yeah.
or gotten their first like big show from Catacombs, played in front of their first big audience. So like, and then everybody who's that's their aspiration has probably been like, holy crap, this is a
I
cool
think
scene.
like what you said as well, just how overall how you've done it from the start, I think is what really held it together. The consistency, how much you think about every single detail. Like there's so much that goes into it that people don't see, and I feel like people don't even realize has to go into it.
Yeah.
But Owen really, really does it all. Obviously I play my part, but I'm have to give it over to him. It's all him.
Yeah.
And it genuinely wouldn't none of it would have happened if he didn't work the way he does.
Let's first off, can you guys like just introduce yourselves and like what you guys do in terms of like catacombs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can go first.
Okay. My name is Kate. I just I kind of go by music A&R.
Hmm.
So always on the lookout for artists, new music, people to put on, who to keep an eye on. I've kind of helped a bit, like I've set up a few shows as well with Omen. Um, and yeah, I kind of just like his secondhand man for for catacombs.
And then my name is Omen. I'm the founder, sort of director of Catacombs. I host the shows, I DJ the shows, I do the posters, I make all other art to do with the shows, I curate everything. So, um, yeah, some people would call me the evil overlord of the underground, but yeah, I run Catacombs, and Kate is my right hand man. She's my NR. She's answering the DMs that I'm too high and mighty to answer. So she helps me out massively with it, and helps me curate like the recent releases and stuff like that, because I don't
Yeah.
always have time to get to everything. So she's really um she's really on the ball for that. So
And Omen, I was watching like an interview you did about like creating catacombs and first starting off, and you had stated that there just wasn't that space for underground rappers making that kind of rap music. Why do you think those spaces weren't available before you guys came in?
um that's a great question. I actually don't know. I feel like I really saw like a gap in the market when I started, because I was like, this is really weird that nobody's doing it. I guess nobody thought that it could happen, or at least anybody who'd maybe made an attempt. Because I'm not going to act like I'm the first person to ever put on an underground show in Ireland. That's not true. But definitely the previous attempts had always been like, we're putting on stuff for just for us, and like highlighting just us and our collective or whatever, which is like, that's everywhere else that works absolutely fine, because you've already got like a pre-established scene. But like if you're doing that like in Ireland where there's nothing already, you only ever get so much success out of it. So like, I think, you know there had to be. sort of like an establishment of like we all actually know each other and we all actually want to go to the same shows and like experience this music together before sort of these shows can continue to happen outside of like maybe like one person's collective putting on a show. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd say that's probably it because in Ireland like hip hop is like super limited. And like obviously if you dig deep, there's so many fantastic artists making such amazing music, but like the attitude towards hip hop in Ireland for a long time has always been like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. And like, you know, especially if you're like a white Irish guy, it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think who do you think you are essentially?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, the only way that a lot of guys could get, you know, any sort of appreciation for their work is if they did everything kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like, oh, I get it, you know,
Yeah.
I'm Paddy making rap music. How
Yeah.
silly is
It's
that?
all a bit.
And
It's just
it's
a
all a bit, it's all a
yeah.
joke, and it's like, I've got my Bjors and I've got my chicken fillet rolls and blah 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 blah. And like that's like, ugh, that's great. You know, there's an audience for it,
Yeah.
and like I'm never gonna bash anybody that's making music and doing well with it, but like it's so that's where the ceiling was really for a lot of people, and like obviously some people broke through that and really did amazing things with it, but like for the majority of people, that's all you could get, and like if you broke out of that mold, people would go back to that attitude of like, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's why it wasn't working for a long time is that people weren't taking it seriously and that you weren't allowed to take it seriously either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there wasn't enough people to take it seriously at the time.
yeah. That's it. If I always say to people, if you put like, you know, if there's 10 people in a room listening to you perform your music, you're like, okay, cool. If there's 1,000 people in a room listening to you perform music, you're like, even if I don't like the music, I have to take that seriously. There's no way a
Yeah.
thousand people are showing up to this if it's not
Mm.
got merit. Do you know what I mean? So like that's it. If you can put everybody in the entire country, and it really does feel like that sometimes because it is, despite what most people think, a very small scene still. Um, if you can put all those people in one room, anybody outside of that looks at that goes, well, there's got to be something there. There's no way this is happening without some sort of merit, without some sort of substance to it.
Mhm.
And like that hadn't happened really before Catacombs. Nobody had like put on a show to more than like 20 people in reality. Do you know what I mean? In
Yeah.
terms of like underground music. Outside of that, yeah, but like in terms of underground music, no. So that was I think like that was why it hadn't happened before us because it had never been given a space to flourish at all.
Yeah. I mean, and Kate, I'm sure you can speak on this, but when you guys are like creating a show, what do you look for in an artist or like their music when creating the lineup?
I think mostly, obviously, personal preference, like
Mhm.
music wise, comes into it. But I feel like aside from that, you have to be very open minded. And even if it's not my personal taste, if it's good, it's good. And I think giving people a chance as well. If they're just starting out, if there's any sort of potential there at all, just give them a chance and hear them out, see what they can do, because that's everybody has to start somewhere. And a lot of these guys in the scene all started from the bottom and have worked their way up. So it could be anybody next.
Yeah, that's true. It really could be anybody. And it's like it's not always our personal preference. Like it's not necessarily everyone that we're like constantly listening to, but if we know that people have like an appreciation for an artist, big or small, like even if we don't love their music, you know, we can see okay, well, people really fuck with this, so like
Mhm.
let's put them on a show and let's reach out essentially. So like that's it. You got to curate a lineup that's like obviously you need to be able to stand behind that and say that it's all good music, but like I'm not necessarily going to listen to every type of like because underground is such a ridiculous label because
Yeah.
it's like there's so many subgenres within that.
Yeah.
It's really more of like an attitude and like an aesthetic thing, and there's so much that falls underneath that. But like I might not listen to a certain type of underground music or whatever, but I know that people will, and if there's enough people that are into that, I'm like, well, obviously give this person a chance
Yeah.
because like
And you can still appreciate them as an artist, even if it's not like your personal preference in music. And I think being able to see that is what really helps with the lineups and stuff as well.
Right.
yeah, true, because we're not just stuck in like only putting on people that we like only listen to ourselves. Like I think that'd be really unfair a lot as well. Like I don't know if it's obvious, but like me and Kate are into like very like I don't know, gothic probably isn't the right word, but like genuinely like alternative stuff,
Yeah.
and like we always have been. Like we were big Peep fans. Like this is all before we met, but like we were big Lil Peep fans.
Yeah.
We were maybe regrettably so Suicide Boys fans at some
Yeah.
stage as well.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously more recently like Cemetery and stuff like that, and shout out to Buckshot as well. But like, you know, the alternative line has always been the stuff that we've been really into. But at the same time, if you can enjoy that, like you'd be absolutely ridiculous to say that you can't enjoy like Ray Shremmerd or something at the same time.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah. It all
good,
kind of comes hand in
yeah,
hand.
good music is good music.
Yeah.
And like
Exactly. Yeah.
you have to be able to see that, and that helps to put a lineup together to be able to go, well, look, maybe this isn't what I love right now, but like so many people obviously do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put this guy in the lineup.
Yeah.
So did you guys first connect through music, or how did you guys first meet?
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, that's true actually. So we were both in college together, not in the
Uh-huh.
same course, but we were both went to the same college, and I was kind of like a core member of the college's DJ society,
Ah, sick.
and Kate joined that like to learn how to DJ, and then we kind of met from there, and through tutorials and stuff that I was giving. So like I used to do like techno
Oh, that's
stuff,
sick.
not even
Yeah.
techno. Like I love techno, like actual proper techno.
Yeah.
But like I was like doing DJ sets and there'd be techno playing, and then all of a sudden everyone would turn around because I just started playing like Crystal Castles or something. And Kate was like, "What's going on here?" So then we just kind of connected to that because we like all the same music. So that was probably that was like how we
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you spoke about giving artists opportunities. Is that how Song Wars started? Was like giving people more of an opportunity to be on the lineup?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's like someone said, "Oh, you should do Song Wars," and I was like, "Well, yeah, like, well, like, what's the prize?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't have money to be doing that."
Yeah. A
Oh,
million,
yeah.
$1 million. Yeah.
$1 million, and also a free house, and
Yeah.
congratulations, and here's a record deal. Yeah, Catacombs Records coming soon. Yeah, no, it was really just like, um, yeah, there was people reaching out for it and been like, you should do Song Wars to be cool, and I was like, okay, well, like, what will I use it for? Because I can't just do it for no reason. Like I'm busy. You know, like a lot of people. I don't know if a lot of people know this. I work a 9 to 5. This isn't
Yeah.
just like
Yeah, me
this
too.
isn't a
Yeah.
job. It's just like I come home and then Catacombs is my second job. So I was like, this has to have some sort of extra purpose because I kind of can't just do it for fun. And I was like, oh fuck it, we'll use this as like American Idol, Britain's
Yeah.
Got Talent, and whoever wins gets a feature on the show. And that I thought
Yeah.
that was a really beautiful way of like not democratizing things because I get to choose, I guess, but like but like keeping it really fair and keeping it outside of like, you know, it's just a numbers game, and it's just like
Yeah.
if people are really loving it, and like if I'm like, wow, this is really cool, then like you get to be on the same lineup as like, the biggest guys in the scene, and you get to play with the same audience.
Yeah, and
like,
it keeps the variation of artists open as well, rather than just it constantly being like the same faces over and over again. It's like bringing in new faces, new talent, and then it's just mixing it up really.
Yeah, and it's a cool platform. Like you don't even have to win for me to be like, I want to look into this person.
Yeah, very true.
Because like we've connected with like a bunch of different artists that would have submitted to that and then not won, but I'd still be like, well, your song was really cool.
Yeah,
I still want to work with you at some stage. So like, it was definitely like, for me. It was like, oh, if you could have like no listeners and be making all this cool music, and like you just might never get a chance to be heard by anybody. And I was like, well, first off, you'll get an initial chance to be heard by, I don't know what, 20 to 90 people, depending on how good the stream is doing.
Yeah.
And then you'll be getting the opportunity to play to potentially 200 plus people.
Yeah.
Like, and that's stuff that like, again, I always say to people, especially when I say it to like on the night, I'm like, don't take this for granted, because people will work their entire life, genuinely their entire life, and might get their best show ever playing to 50 people.
Yeah.
And like that will mean the world to them. And I'm like, you are getting an opportunity now to go ballistic on stage to in front of like 200 teenagers that are like tearing
Yeah.
themselves apart in front of you. Like, go absolutely buck wild with it, but like appreciate how amazing that is, because like that is not a guarantee. And like we had, we won't call him out, but we had like an artist that Kate's a big fan of that like we went to his show,
Uh-huh.
and he played in like a pretty small venue
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and he'd played the year before to a 350 capacity venue and sold it out, and he played here a few months ago. It was like what, 60
Yeah.
people in the room,
Maybe even less.
and like this guy has millions of monthly listeners, and
Mhm.
like he was like talking to his bassist and was like, what the fuck is going on? And we were looking at him and we are like, damn, like that's crazy,
Yeah.
but that's the way it works. Is it's not a guarantee,
Yeah.
and to get to play to 100+ people at every single show, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's huge, and to
Yeah.
be able to put someone on who otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity, that's huge as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why the song was so fucking cool,
Yeah.
so fun.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's the beauty of like live music versus like streaming in numbers, because I mean, a lot of that isn't real. A lot of that is just like bots and whatever.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
like when you're actually at a gig with an audience, like there's a feeling there that you just don't
Yeah.
have.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why like I started Catacombs, was because like I was like, well, we need to, if it doesn't exist in real life, if you can't physically go there
Mm.
and hit off other people and meet people and talk to an artist in person, it might as well not exist.
Yeah.
Really, like there has to be a physical in real life element, or else like you lose the login to your Instagram and your career's over. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be real. You gotta be able to like go somewhere and meet people, and like I said, like get in a mosh pit with someone, and shake hands with people. And like I think like people have come up to me after shows and be like, I would just want to say thanks, not even just for the show, but because like I have like 20 friends now.
Yeah.
And I was like the weird kid in my school with no friends, and I get to come to this every 2 months, and I know people now that have the
Yeah.
same interests as me.
Yeah. And you can see that people like from the start, from the very first shows, who are now like really good friends.
Mhm.
And it's just like about community, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Ireland didn't really have that before,
Not at all.
especially with underground music anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Like yeah, for going out, like for nights out in Ireland and specifically in Dublin, it's like techno or kind of nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's like you have two options. It's like you go to like a techno night, even if you don't care about it, and like this is gonna sound like kind of crass, but like if you're of like an ethnic minority or gay, you have those options as well for you, and
Yeah.
it's like one or the other. It's like that's the only two nights that were really doing well in Dublin. It was
Yeah.
like you go to techno, or you can go, if you're like Brazilian, you go to like a Brazilian night.
Yeah. Or you go
You know
to
what I
the
mean?
George and you're just
You go to the
Yeah.
George. Yeah, exactly. And like that's great. But even for those people, if I was in New York and my only options were techno or go to Irish theme nights, I would lose my mind. So there has to be stuff for
Yeah.
outside of that as well. So like especially for these kids, being able to go somewhere and experience like hip hop music, and especially like hip hop music, and like by Irish artists as well, like that's really really cool. And like that's not something that we had 10 years ago
No.
at
No.
all.
Mhm.
Like I always tell the story that like my first like time getting to hear hip hop when I was out in Dublin was like we went to this club called Tramline, and it was like advertised as like a hip hop night. So I'm in my first year of college, and you go there and they play like one Travis Scott song, and then it was like Afro beats for the rest of the night, and I was like, okay, cool, I get it. But why was XXXTentacion on the poster? This is clearly what this is. You're playing Burna Boy right now. I feel a little misled.
Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed
Yeah.
because like I was there to rage, and
Yeah.
I was not there to have a nice time. But so that's it. Being able to go somewhere and actually experience like hip hop, and like again, like I think it needs to be addressed that there is like, especially nowadays, like there's so much racial and ethnic division as well. It's like in the West in America and here in Ireland, unfortunately as well. being able to look out into the crowd and seeing people from all different like sort of diasporas being able to be at the same event, and it's not like weird. There's no
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
tension. There's no like we can't be here. Everybody just gets to go, and there's queer people that go, and there's people of other ethnicities that go, and there is no sense of like there's a barrier here, or like there isn't even a sense of like, oh, we're doing something a little different.
Mm.
It's just
Yeah.
nobody cares.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nobody's there like, oh, like, they're just there for the music. They're just there because whoever is on stage, and like that again, that's more rare than people realize as well,
Yeah.
especially here in Ireland. It's more rare than like you go to, like, I swear to God, you can go to techno shows in Dublin and it's just white people. And like Dublin is not as like monocultural as it used to be.
Yeah.
That's it's like that because there's people that feel uncomfortable going to
Mhm.
something like that. So that not have that be an issue, as far as I'm aware, is also really, really cool.
Yeah.
So like again, and like that's kind of bled into everything now. It's like most shows are like that, which
Yeah.
is really great.
Yeah.
Which again, 10 years ago, not the case
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Not the case at all. So again, there's just so much out of like if you really put the effort into like community building and making sure that people feel like assholes are gonna like get called out and not be allowed to like continue in the scene, you get that sense of like anybody can show up and feel like they have a place there, which like that's amazing. That's like that means so much. So
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, in terms of like your guys' growth since that first Catacombs gig, first, I mean, Electric Picnic, congratulations. I mean, I,
thanks. Like,
I was just speaking of Betty a couple days ago, and like he was fucking tweaking out. Like, when was that like initial call that you guys had where you guys were like, "Oh, this is happening"?
You were
so
in work,
I
I
was
think.
in work.
Yeah.
I was on my break in work, and I was like in Supervalue looking for my sandwich that I get every day. And then I'm like, "Where's the egg and mayo?" And then I see my phone ring, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" Because it's from like the events coordinator from the Sound House, which is where we do like almost all of our gigs.
Yeah.
And he's calling me. I'm like, "Oh, this is bad news. This is like
We're canceled.
yeah, I'm like, one of my shows is over, or like somebody said that I've killed someone. What the fuck is happening? So I pick up the phone. I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And he's like, oh, like, hey, Omen, like, he didn't say Omen, but like, hey, like,
Yeah.
what's up? Like, look, we've got this opportunity. Just wondering if you'd be interested in doing Catacombs at EP. And I was like, do I get the watermelon slices today? Or I was like, wow, I can't believe this is when I'm getting this call. And I was like, yeah, duh, like of course.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, without any shred of doubt, yeah. Even if it's for 15 minutes, yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. I'll get back to you. And that was it. And I was like, I had to go back to work and just be like, what is going on right now? Like, what is happening? Continue to serve people as if like
Yeah.
I'm not freaking out on the inside. So yeah, it was like super just like nonchalant, like, oh, do you want to do EP?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of my dream.
So
No biggie.
yeah. Okay, are you creating this lineup for this EP set and everything already?
We did it together really.
Yeah.
It was just basically who stood out to us the most over the last couple of months, and just like, not that nobody, like anybody doesn't deserve it, but the guys that are on it really do deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. And it is like it's kind of equal opportunity. Like
Yeah.
I literally had to draw names out of a hat because it's like
Oh, wow.
choosing between my kids. I'm like, I can't like these are all guys that I really respect, and I can't like put one person after another in any good faith, because they all deserve it. They all deserve to be on it, and they all deserve to have their own full hour set. But like in time, obviously that will come. But like for now, it's really just like, yeah, like who do we think who's been great to work with?
Yeah,
as well?
exactly.
Like, who's been like, who do we like not only appreciate as just like an artist or someone who's a performer, but someone who are like, yeah, this is someone we can rely on as well.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's a big ask to be like, come down to this festival and like, have everything prepared, because not everybody's able to do that part either. Putting on events will show you like people will beg you and beg you and beg you to put you on, and then they get on the show and they like are just they're late and they're not ready and they're drunk or whatever.
Mm.
And it's like I thought we were on the same page with this, you know. So everybody that's on the lineup, it's like everybody that I'm like, yeah, this guy means business essentially,
Yeah.
and he's actually going to treat this properly. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's super exciting. But it's all the goats really. I mean, a few people left out, sure, but like all the goats for sure. And
yeah, you can't get everybody on it, unfortunately, that you'd want to. But
Right.
yeah, it definitely is. All the guys that are on it are definitely deserving. And like you said as well, not just even in the music part, but like just as people.
Yeah. Like everyone that I've like has come up to me after a show and been like really respectful and like just appreciative of and like that sort of thing. Like that goes a huge way. To any of the kids watching, being like respectful and being like able to just take the time to be like, oh, this was a cool opportunity, regardless of how your show went, is actually like massive. Because I still do that. I have to do that for the venue. I have to go up and be like, thanks for letting us be here, even though I'm paying for it. Like, thanks for letting us put the show on here, and like, thanks for helping out with that weird thing that happened with the audio. Whatever.
Yeah.
You have to be respectful, and like you don't get asked to do EP by being a diva and like by throwing your weight around and being like hard to work with. You have to be reliable. And, that the simplest part of that is learning how to say, remembering your P's and Q's, remembering to be just nice and you know, talk to people with manners.
Yeah,
that's really such a big aspect of it.
And I think that's so important because I think people don't realize that as long as you're not a dick, you're gonna get way more opportunities.
Yeah.
Than if you just fucking, I don't know. It's
like, you know, you see these stories then of people that are like really established and they act like assholes. And you're like, how the fuck did they ever get to that level? Like, were they always like this? Like, do you know what I mean? And like obviously ego comes into it and people change, but like at some stage you had to bow your head a little bit to somebody and be like, thanks for putting this on. Because there's no way anybody got to any level by never showing a little bit of respect to someone. I don't know, unless they're like Justin Bieber or something. Then who was it? Who was it that picked Bieber up? Was it Usher? Who was it that kind of took him under his wing? I can't remember. But anyway, like especially if it's like a grassroots movement, like being part of a community and like being like you're it's not like you don't see people again. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're not going into people, especially here in Ireland. Again, cannot emphasize how small of a scene it really is at the end of the day. So like being like, you know, even if you're an artist and some kid comes up to you and like, what's up, bro? If you can just be like, hey, thanks so much. Let's take a picture. Like, appreciate that and don't be like a dickhead about it. Because like
I think people kind of forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
Just we're all just people and we're just doing things that we like to do and let's all be friends and be nice to each other. I think do forget that and it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And nobody's better than anybody else. We're all doing the same thing because we like it. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. I know, like I remember people would ask me, like they'd be like, oh, if I do this other show, like, will I not get to go on Catacombs? And I was like, what are you talking about? Why would I ever stop you from
You're
doing
blacklisted.
Yeah, like no, do every show possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, do everything you can for your own career. Like, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. Like, do everything you can.
Yeah.
And you know, it is a thing. There's no ego. There's no like, you know, we're better than anybody else or whatever.
And it should be in Ireland about working together.
Yeah.
Because it is such a small scene.
Yeah.
And everybody should just work together.
Yeah.
And then that's how it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Because we're the underdogs at the end of the day. Like, you know, obviously we have an advantage being like an English speaking country in terms of like your access to a global market, but like it's the US and the UK, and then everywhere else will be fighting for that third spot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like I like to think we're probably pretty close to being in that position, but like I don't know. You never know. New Zealand could all of a sudden come up and be
Yeah, the Kiwis
you know,
are gonna.
meant to be, yeah, exactly. Like the Maori underground. You never know. Like you don't know. It's sincerely like anything can happen, and it's like yeah, like Australia has a bigger population than us.
Yeah.
They have more kids that'd be into this. Like artists are way more likely to go to like do an Australian tour than do like more than one date here in Ireland. And it
Yeah.
used to be like you wouldn't do any dates in Ireland. There'd be an entire European tour, and they go to like 5 or 6 countries in like Eastern Europe
Mhm.
that like English isn't their main language, and they could still do a bigger show there than they could here, so they wouldn't come here. And I remember like 2018 was just like this incredible, miraculous year because we had
Yeah.
3 artists came here
Yeah.
in 1 year. That was like unheard of.
Yeah.
So like it's especially like for that, if there's like a scene here, then like artists will be like, oh yeah, like Ireland's cool. Let's make sure we do a show there.
Yeah.
And when we're there, we'll link up with Death to Ricky. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. That actually helps everyone.
Yeah.
And again, you can't achieve that by everybody like going on each other. You have to be one team essentially. Even if you don't have to like everybody, but like you got to be thinking about the bigger picture all the time.
And why not work together?
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Yeah.
We're a historically divided country. Let's end that with the Irish underground scene. How about that?
And my final question for you guys: what do you guys see for the future of Catacombs?
I hope I hope and I do see bigger and better. I really do hope. I really do see it. And I think, like I said at the start as well, how Catacombs is curated like by Omen, it's gotten to this point because of him and because of how consistent he is with the work he puts in. And I think like you can only kind of go up from there. I think it would be a waste of of you if it didn't.
Yeah, that's it. It is like the goal is bigger and not simply for like an ego thing, but like if I get the opportunity to put on some kid from like the middle of nowhere in Ireland on a stage in front of 1,000 people, I've won. I definitely like that's like, and it's not like obviously I'm on that stage too. I get to drink in some of that glory too, but like I'm making dreams come true. If I'm putting these kids on stages full stop, if I get to put them on a stage in front of 2,000 people, I feel like I'm doing a service to the whole country if I'm able to do that. And that's the goal is like, try and make this as big as possible.
Yeah.
Because like the UK, they can fart out, 1K capacity shows every week.
Yeah.
Multiple shows a week. Who cares? And they've got 64 million people to go to these shows.
Yeah.
And we have what, like 5.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. We don't have 5 million people able to go to these shows. So like if we can put on a show to 1,000 people, like that's like incredible. That is truly like you are talking a 0.1% kind of amount of artists will ever be able to do that in Ireland. If we could put that on and like have like a venue sold out or whatever at 1,000 capacity, even if you are close, that would be like, yeah, we did this like for Ireland essentially, for all these guys that like all these kids that have a dream essentially to do this stuff.
Yeah.
To be able to do that and not have to like, sell our souls essentially to like corporations or like big labels or anything like that to achieve it. Just fully grassroots, that would just be like a miracle, I think.
And I think we've both been very into underground music for over 10 years now.
Over 10 years, easy.
And I think from that, like we said earlier as well, like there's never really been anything in Ireland, especially those beginning years, like 2016, 2017. Even like Omen said, there wasn't acts or artists coming here. And I think just being able to build off of that and like finally have a community and a scene here, I think even as what it is now is just amazing. But obviously the goal would be to
build. Yeah. Like this is where we are now is like after about a year and a half, maybe before.
Yeah. And it is like amazing achievement for that amount of time. And I think like have to give yourself credit for that as well, obviously. But I think in terms of the future, it would be silly to say that it's not to get bigger.
Yeah, you have to get
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to get bigger. And even if like we hit a plateau and like there's no way it's gonna get bigger than this, at least we tried. There's no
exactly.
point in like just being like, yeah, no, it's too much effort.
Yeah.
Like I've done everything I can. Like I've set things up now that I can't talk about really because I don't want to jinx myself too much. But like set things up to hopefully build things in the future and make things bigger. And again, all sort of in the purpose of like if I get to look out at a crowd of like 600, 1,000, whatever, how many people that are all there for some kid that won Song Wars.
Yeah.
Come on, like
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's super cool. And like yeah, it's like I've got some smaller sort of bits, smaller projects that I'm working on to sort of again build a community, like look at what's working and what's not, and like what's getting engagement and what's not, and sort of how can I make this more interesting. And like I guess one of those things is I'm gonna be putting on like not putting on. I'm gonna be making like I'm calling it Catacombs radio. I think that's the easiest way to put it. But like
Whoa.
essentially like hour long, maybe DJ mixes, but like GTA radio station style. I'll have the recent releases on there. It might not even just be like Irish releases. It might be other stuff that's cool. And then I'll have like, have the artists like call in and be like,
That's
yo, what's up,
sick.
man?
That's sick.
Vibing,
Yeah.
man, like,
Yeah.
whatever. And then again, you can do so much cool stuff with that because I was finding with the recent releases, it's like just a carousel of about
Yeah.
20 posts, and people might like go through and be like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. But if you could have that on in the background, you go, wait a second, I'm like, what is this? And you
Yeah.
go through and you're like, from this point to this point, it's this artist. You're probably more likely to actually go and save that song.
Yeah.
And it's more interesting, it's more engaging, and it's
Yeah.
something that I think is really, really fun. So it'll definitely be like, yeah, a mix of like GTA radio station style and also like that early sort of like Dat Piff, DJ Holiday, kind of like loads of tags, ridiculous, like blown out, distorted stuff. 'Cause that's what I love. That's what I love listening to. And yeah, like it'll be fun. That's one like small project that I've got in the works now, and I'm hopefully gonna be able to keep that up because again, a lot of work, but like
Yeah.
I live for this. Like
Yeah.
this is like
Yeah, and I think with that as well, like we obviously both have a really big passion for music. And that's the foundation of it. And then it's just like we said as well, the community building, making friendships, making relationships with people. It's all about that as well. So we were able to do this like full time and not have to work another job.
Yeah.
It would be
that'd
amazing. It'd be
That'd be the
amazing.
dream.
Because it's not just about like getting bigger or like putting on bigger shows. It's about everything.
Yeah.
Every single part of it we really, really enjoy.
Yeah. Again, it's a labor of love. It's not like it's like I have to do this.
Yeah.
I could quit tomorrow. We could both be like, no, we're not doing this anymore. But
We're
like
out.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's it. It's been real.
Yeah.
But we would never want to do that. If all of a sudden we walk away from this, there's gotta be like cataclysmic event has occurred. Because like, unless everything just stops and everybody stops going to the shows, we got mega canceled for something. Yeah. Like God forbid. I'm squeaky clean, so don't worry.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. If they decided I was like super annoying or something. I found some tweet of me being like Nesman sucks, and they're like then like then we'd walk away and be like, we've had our fun. But like until again everything falls apart and there's no way we can keep it going, which I really hope that never happens.
Yeah.
This is it. This is like what we work on and like what we're trying to build. And again, it's all to just make Ireland that third place spot, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'll settle for the third place because we just don't, we will never, ever, ever have the population to keep up with like the UK and the US. But like, if we could be a big player, and I think we're getting there, like, and if I could get these guys that I love working with, flown out, like we were very close. I'll say this: we were very, very close to doing South by Southwest this year.
Whoa!
Yeah, we were very close, but South by Southwest had some internal issues. Like I think things have been rough for them in the last few years, so there was cuts made, and obviously flying 5 or 6 Irish people all the way out for the festival is not cheap. And that had to get dropped. And like I remember I was like, oh, what's this looking like? And it was like, no, I don't think it's gonna go ahead this year. But like that's it. Like we're already on the radar of people, and Ireland is already on a lot of people's radar.
So I know you guys have to skedaddle right now,
That's okay.
That's
but
okay.
are there any like final statements you want to make about anything coming soon? I know Electric Picnic we talked about, but like anything else?
Halloween show, literally on Halloween as well, which is cool.
It's gonna be sick.
That's gonna be super
Costumes?
cool.
Are you guys gonna
Costumes
dress up?
will
Okay.
have to be done.
Yeah.
Have to be done. Um, Probably gonna try and do a big blowout show at the end of the year. You know, see what we can do with that. Try and get like some cool people on it. Um, Trying to do a show in New York next year.
Yeah.
That's gonna be crazy.
And if the venues would get back to me, I have like 4 big names, like international artists that I'm doing shows for, like
Nice.
Catacombs collabs. I'm just waiting on venues to respond to my emails, which
Yeah.
they're being unusually slow at the moment. But I can't really give any away.
Yeah.
No.
Not right now.
Now.
One American rapper,
Okay.
Yeah.
one Swiss rapper,
Yeah.
Okay.
one believe American, kind of like she was kind of like alt rock, and
Yeah.
now she's kind of like going in a bit of a witch house direction.
Okay.
And then like an electronic duo that I think are from the UK. But this is just stuff that's in the works that I
Yeah.
can't officially announce yet until I announce it, because
Yeah.
nothing is
Yeah.
you don't count your chickens until they hatch. So but that's it. Next year, who knows? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Obviously I have plans, obviously I have things I want to do. What's the saying? You shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land on the stars. So like you gotta aim high.
Yeah.
And even if I don't achieve my goals,
You achieve something.
I'll achieve something. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Kate, Omen, thank you guys so much for speaking with me. This was a great
Thank you so
conversation.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you very
awesome.
much, Naomi.
Don't miss that bus.
Yeah, we're gonna go on to that now. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course, guys.
Absolutely, anybody watching, shout out to Devin, genuinely putting the whole scene on.
Yeah.
Probably the most tapped in person ever. Not like all these fake journalists that talk about like the 5 biggest guys. This
Yeah.
guy's doing the real work.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Devin.
Awesome.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Have a
Thank
nice day,
you.
guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.